NOLA is over, and it was full of hype moments, so I'm dedicating this week's content to a NOLA review. That's right, I'm breaking down the biggest plays and highlights so we can learn and improve at Halo 5. And what better way to start than with starting strats? A good starting strat can set the momentum for the entire game going forward, so I got 7 awesome starting strats for you to try and take advantage of in your gameplay. Let's kick it off. This first one is super simple. Stronghold's Plaza, Sabinator's going to fly over to Yard, grab the plasma pistol, and help his team get an early cap on bottom mid. So you'll see right here, jumps over, he can grab the plasma pistol, jump up to top yellow, fall down into bottom mid, and then he helps his team. They get the cap. Now there's one thing you need to pay attention to, and it's how Sabinator actually got to Yard. So you'll see he lands on this van right here. A lot of players, they go up the staircase behind Sabinator, maybe grab the BR, and then fly in, throw nades, contest the space, whatever. But Sabinator, he instantly sprinted, thrust slid, landed on the van. You can see he used his thrust in the top corner here. Now he's jumping up, and check out this angle that he has. He can toss a nade, perfectly have it land in the doorway for players who are challenging, and he's doing it from a position where he's not going to get hit by any nades at all. He's completely out of the line of fire of players coming into Yard. And the biggest thing that not enough players take advantage of is the fact that he threw the nade before he actually clambered up to this place here. By throwing a nade and then clambering after, you can cancel your nade throw animation with the clamber, and you can throw earlier nades while keeping your momentum on the map. So many pro players take advantage of this, and at least 3 of the clips that I'm going to show you have to do with nade clambering. This is so helpful for applying pressure and still moving quickly on the map. So by the time he throws a nade, gets up here, realizes nobody's pushing, his thrust comes back, he can jump thrust forward, grab the plasma pistol. So that is a really effective way to get to Yard. It's something you should definitely apply in your gameplay. Next up, we've got Coliseum Flag. Neptune's going to use a nice jump to get to red DMR and then up to top catwalk. So he's going to sprint, jump, activate stabilize, he can thrust, clamber up, and then nade clamber to get to top catwalk so he can throw nades and apply pressure while maintaining momentum. Let's play that back. So he's going to sprint, and then from this point, he jumps, activates stabilize later. You could also jump thrust immediately and then activate stabilize, hold crouch in the air so you maintain that peak height in the stabilize, and then you can clamber up on the spot. Instead, Neptune actually applies his thrust after the stabilize later to reposition himself. So it's a good way to make sure that you really get on that clamber ledge, but technically, if you can burn that thrust earlier, then you're going to get it back earlier as well. So I think the perfect way to do this jump is to instead sprint and then jump thrust immediately, hold crouch, activate stabilize, you can clamber up, and then you can apply pressure to top mid. So also a great jump to take note of when you're starting on Coliseum. This third starting strat is super useful. Frosty is going to fly to ring 3 in a matter of seconds, super jump off the platform onto the bridge, he can jump up to ring 3 and toss that nade, and he's beat everybody else to it at this point, and he's already applying pressure to the enemy team. So real quick, I've talked about the super jump in 2 separate videos. I will link both of those videos in the description for you to check out, but he's going to do it right here. Sprint, thrust slide off of the platform, activate stabilize, hold crouch in the air so you can hit that peak height. He'll get over onto this bridge without clambering so he can instantly sprint, and then he can jump, pre-nade that jump up, and hold crouch while he's in the air so he'll land on that jump up right there, and then he can get up to ring 3 and apply pressure. Super crucial to add to your gameplay. For number 4, Spartan's going to show us a great strat to get to the OS and eat an oddball from the red side. So off of spawn, he can sprint, thrust slide when he hits the floor, sprint again, and then jump, hold crouch. By then he has his thrust back, so he can jump, thrust, grab the OS. He does die, but he gets the OS first, which is important. So starting it up, he sprints. There's one way to improve this jump. After he thrust slides when he hits the floor, he's in the air here. If instead he carries this momentum into an immediate spring jump off of the ground, he would probably go higher and farther and then land on that jump up, and then he can go over, use his thrust, and get to the OS maybe like a millisecond earlier. But I think that's one advanced way to improve this jump if you wanted to. Either way, sprint, jump, hold crouch, you can jump, thrust over, and grab the OS. You should definitely apply this and eat an oddball. Number 5, Ryan Noob's going to show us a 6 start on Truth. He's going to sprint and then thrust slide jump up to the window. He can slide jump over and grab the generator on top mid, and hide behind this shield while he applies pressure to Carr. Almost lands a double kill with a back smack. That would have been nuts if he got it. But the big thing you want to pay attention to here is make sure if you're going to thrust slide up to that jump here that you actually line yourself up here and don't bump into anything. So make sure you take the time to line yourself up. Also note that you can super jump to get up to this spot without even having to clamber. If you super jump, activate stabilize, hold crouch, you can get up there without a clamber. Either way, it's still fast to clamber up. Slide, jump, and then hold crouch, and you can clamber up to this generator. This generator is so helpful to sit on, because if he crouches here, this shield protects him from pressure on pink, it protects him from pressure on the other base, and it focuses his angle over to Carr, and he can get in a nice 1v1 fight on Carr and then thrust over. I mean, what if he thrusted backwards? Maybe he would have gone behind the other shield and stayed alive, or if he instantly jumped here and clambered up to that pedestal above him, maybe he would have momentarily avoided this situation and made himself a hard kill. Either way, it's a great way to start on the map. You definitely need to apply it. For number 6, we have a simple yet effective strategy for grabbing camo in Empire strongholds. Off of spawn here, Musa is going to sprint, jump, thrust out the window, slide jump, and then nade clamber into security, and then he can sprint, jump, thrust, grab the camo, and then slide jump out of there as his teammate helps him. The biggest thing about this being that Musa is finding and taking advantage of opportunities to use the nade clamber. Such a helpful way, like I said, to apply pressure, maintain your momentum on the map. Unfortunately, he messes up the nade, throws a second one. This is where he originally had planned to toss the nade, so it slows him down, but he makes up for it by sprint, jump, thrusting, and overshooting this nade toss by the opponent, grabbing the camo, and then in time he manages to get out and his teammate helps him. But the fastest way to do it would be to nail that nade clamber, then you can sprint, slide jump in, grab that OS or that camo, and then hopefully have your thrust available to get out of there safely. And finally, at number 7, we got Shotzi, who's going to show us a sick way to get to the OS in Fissure really fast. He's going to sprint, and he's going to maintain that sprint into a jump off of the ledge, turn and thrust slide in, grab that OS before his teammate. They say they don't play the new maps, but this looks like a hell of a starting strat to me. Personally, though, I think because of how late he used that thrust, he probably could have instantly off spawn, jump thrusted, then sprinted, got to full sprint speed, did this, so he's maintaining his sprint forward. Note that at no point in this sprint has he pulled back on the stick and stopped himself for sprinting. It's important that he's maintained his sprint forward because it makes it so that he can keep full sprint speed this whole way through and activate a nice thrust slide when he hits the floor, as opposed to hitting the floor right in front of him and having to start sprinting and then thrust sliding. This way he can thrust slide earlier and he can get there faster. So thrust slide, grabs it, his teammate flies in from the other side. So had there been anybody pushing in, his teammate was ready to collapse in and just make sure that nobody gets that OS except Splice. So great play from Shotzi there, grabbing that as soon as possible, applying pressure to the enemy team. So that covers my starting strats for NOLA and the first episode in the NOLA review. What do you guys think? What do you want to see in my NOLA review this week? Now, I can't promise that I'll get to it, but I'm always down for some inspiration and some ideas on what you guys would like to see from these plays at NOLA. I still have yet to watch all of it. I'm trying to watch it all. I've missed a lot of it over the weekend when I was working, so I'm enjoying it so far. Really exciting event, and I've got plenty of content ideas planned about this event and for more events in the future. So thank you guys for checking it out. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell beside the subscribe button, and follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Keep up with everything I'm doing, and make sure that you get all these videos the day they come out. Thank you guys for checking it out, and I will see you again in the next video.